It's been nearly a year since Proposition 8 passed in California, taking away my right to get married, and I had completely forgotten about the National Equality March. That was until my best friend mentioned that his boyfriend was going to Washington, and I asked why. For the march, he said. Oh yeah, the National Equality March was this weekend, I remembered. I felt the tingle of nervous anticipation in my stomach. Here I was in Pittsburgh, only 4 hours by car from Washington, D.C. I knew then that I was going to go and add my voice to those meeting in Washington. When I couldn't get a car to take to Washington, my 4-hour drive became an 8-hour train ride each way, but I was determined to go.
Washington, D.C. Union Station is the next and final station stop. We ask you to please return to your seats and or sleeper accommodations at this time. We also ask that you please remain seated till the train comes to a complete stop in Washington Terminal.
I'd like to thank you all for traveling the Amtrak. We hope to see you out here again real soon. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has left the building.
When my friend mentioned the march, it had all come back to me. Not just the recollection that there was a protest in Washington, but everything that I had felt in the wake of the passing of Proposition 8, when some very narrow-minded people, in a very broad stroke, took away a piece of my freedom. If that sounds dramatic to you, then you have never experienced this kind of discrimination. A year ago, I would have rolled my eyes too. But last year, something that I always took for granted, that I was an American citizen and entitled to equal rights and protections under the law, was taken away from me. I lost that status. My right to get married, as given to me by the state of California, was voted away from me, and that made me a little less of a citizen. The day of the march was beautiful. The sun was shining, not a cloud in the sky. I got up early and went to the mall. In the early morning, I saw our Capitol as I'd never seen it before, and being there to participate in the march, my experience was different than the 2 times before when I had visited Washington, D.C. I made my way up to the Washington Monument and over to the White House, then up to 15th and I Streets, the assembly place for the march. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'm not the most up-to-date homosexual, but I don't live in a cave either, and the march took me by surprise, meaning I had not heard about it for almost a year. I was worried that the turnout would not be very big, just me and a few lesbians. Very slowly, people began to arrive, and I was underwhelmed. I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't impressed. Then I heard a chanting coming from down one of the streets leading to the square. Gay, straight, black, white, marriage is a civil right. And as I looked to see where it was coming from, people began streaming into the square, waving banners and signs and chanting, and they just kept coming and coming. By the time 12 noon came around, the time the march was to begin, I was more than impressed. The square, the streets in every direction, all were full. It was amazing, and I was so grateful to be there and to be part of it. The march began. It was a little reserved in the beginning. There was some chanting, but we picked up momentum as we went along. The march was like a river of people. We passed the White House twice, once from a distance, then a second time much closer. The crowd was watched very closely by the Secret Service on top of the White House. We chanted something like, "Hey, Obama, Obama marry mama," or something like that. I have no idea what it meant. Then we chanted, "Yes, we can." I got really choked up on that one. Yes, we were, but could we? We elected a black president last year. At the same time, a large portion of the black vote in California went towards Proposition 8 and taking away my right to get married. How do gays, lesbians, and transgenders, A, get our rights back, and B, get treated equally, when we are so stigmatized that even people who should be the most empathetic to our cause not only turn their backs on us, but actively vote against us? My hope, our hope, is in our youth. I was surprised, impressed, and overwhelmed by the young, gay, lesbian, and transgender turnout. The queer youth, the mighty, mighty queer youth. They were at the front of the march, and they were leading the chanting. They are unstoppable. They are here, they are queer, and they are not going away. The march took us to the west lawn of the nation's capital.
We'll take it to the hill. We can, we will. We'll take it to the hill. What do we want? Equality. What do we want it now? What do we want? Equality. What do we want it now?
People streamed in for what seemed like forever. The lawn was a sea of people. Queer people. I thought about all the gay stereotypes. I had run across them all in the course of the march. Some of them rubbed me the wrong way, some of them made me angry, and some of them made me uncomfortable. But as I looked around at everyone, resting now with their friends, I thought, if you look at us, at our faces, if you watch us as we talk to each other, our friends, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, we're people. We laugh, we cry, we care for each other the same way anyone does. We hug each other, put our arms around each other, hold hands. We comfort each other when we're sad, tell jokes to make each other smile. We're just people, the same as anyone else. I am so grateful to have been able to go to Washington and march in the National Equality March, to be able to march past the White House and through the nation's capital with thousands and thousands and thousands of my gay, lesbian, and transgender brothers and sisters, and to be heard. And this video is to express my gratitude for being able to be a part of that.